Hi guys, so today we got in our G6. This is going to take place of that guy over there. We have several videos talking about this guy, and it came to the point to where it just went kaput. So we had to order one. So we're going to do the unboxing here. So we're all in for a surprise here. This guy came really fast. We were expecting a lead time of 2 to 3 weeks, and it came in 2 to 3 days. So we're gonna see what's in this guy. Hopefully it's an easy plug and play. If not, well, we'll wish that it was. So as you can see here, I'll have Beth kind of watch as we unpackage this guy. You guys are seeing what we're seeing for the first time, obviously. All right, so this is the front of it, and all the boards are in there. So this is basically a plug and play. The only thing that it doesn't have is the little sticker. So we'll try and peel that off and put it back on here. And we're gonna make sure that this guy fits because it looks like it's smaller. But it's probably just hopefully an optical illusion. So we'll come over here. And so you have a comparison between the two. It actually looks about the same. So basically, we've had this problem, and we've had it for a while now, to where about half of our stuff is working. This is for our thermostat. Again, there's another video that we'll post up here so that you can kind of see this. And I'll have Beth kind of zoom down here. What I've done is I've gone through and I've marked these all to correspond. So basically what we're going to do is, this will be our positive, well no, this is our negative, this is our positive post, and then we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth, and kind of plug and play. This cord here will go into a terminal block that's basically right here on the cabinet, which goes up to the touch screen. So I guess we're going to get started, and we're going to plug this guy all in. It's been programmed for it. It looks exactly the same of what we had, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that everything works. So stay with us. We're going to plug this guy in. We'll probably do a quick time lapse so it's not so boring for you. Alrighty. Okay, so we're out here in the basement. I want to show you where, at least on ours, this is your battery disconnect. So this is what you'll want to turn off before you mess with your G6 and pull that all apart. So we're going to turn that guy off, and then we're also going to walk over here to our main breaker, our pedestal, and we're going to turn off our 50 amp service. If you want to take an extra step, you can unplug it, but we'll be in and out of that pretty quick. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you have no power to your unit before you start messing around with electricity. Perfect. All right, so now that we've disconnected our power, what we're going to do is we're going to just unplug everything, and then I'm going to pull this out. Now, the way that ours is set up, I might have to pull this panel out to, this is where your converter and your 110 breakers are. Because of the little wire that I was showing you before, the little gray wire that goes up to the terminal block for the control board, I might be able to get it, but we're going to try. So this basically runs pretty easy. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's basically left to right. So we're just going to pop everything off. Now, I recommend taking a picture first with your phone. That way you have reference and you can go back. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just that. I'll just take a picture real quick, and then what we'll do is we'll time lapse this for you guys so it's not so incredibly boring, and we'll snap this guy together. Okay, so these two wires here were part of our temporary thermostat. One went to the positive wire, and the other one we had plugged into the thermostat switch that controls the brain. So that's what these two purple wires are. You won't have those. Those were just our fix to get us by. So now I've got everything unhooked except for that little brain wire, and I'm going to leave that alone for right now, and we're going to bring the other one back in, and basically we're just going to go backwards. So we'll hook up the grounding wire. I'll move this to the side for right now. So there should be two grounds. One's going to come off your converter, the other one's coming from your batteries. So it might be a little bit of a struggle to get the nut on. You might have to hold your tongue just the right direction, as people like to give me a little bit of flack for that I tend to do. And I didn't even realize I did.
But hey, it works.
It does work. And then we will put this controls this little thin 14 gauge wire. That guy controls your touchscreen. So we'll get that guy in there. I think I'll put him back so that we're not touching on the side there. This guy is an 11 millimeter nut. You'll notice that there's some numbers that aren't there. So like we don't have a 17, but we have a extra 13. So we have a 13A. And then we have, so like here, if Beth can zoom in real quick, you'll notice that we have a 16 and then we have an 18. So like I said, we're just going to kind of work our way backwards. 16 and 18. And then our 13A is going to go here. And then our 13, 14, 15. So, like I said, it's just a matter of putting everything back in together the way it came out. Then we'll have our 12. And we'll find our 11.
Which was hiding.
And our 10. And then so obviously we'll we have an 8 here. We have a 7. This will be our 4. And our 5 is back here. So like I said, sometimes you'll have things that aren't there, and you'll have other ones that are there. So it's just a matter of, see, like my 8 here kind of went through this loom. I highly recommend labeling all this stuff before you get it in there. It'll save you a lot of headache. So here's my 6, and you're asking where my 9 is. I'll show you in just a second. And my 1. All right, so we have everything plugged in. And I don't have a 9, so there wasn't a 9, and that's where you kind of go back to your pictures and just double check. I've had this thing apart so many times that I know it's not there, but we just double check here, and we have our open spot right here where the 9 would have been. 3, 6, and then 9. So now what we've got to do is I will take this from Beth, and I'll kind of show you why I'm saving that little gray wire. Goes all the way up behind that guy there. So we'll pull this one out, and let me see if I can just reach up there. It's like the blind leading the blind. So pulling the old one off wasn't bad. And there's our old G6. So when we order this, we'll give you some more information here at the tail end of the video. We want to make sure that this all works first. So this is the G6. And that's everything. This is the brains that controls everything. This is all of our 12 volt. So this is, like I said, our slides, our lights, our controllers for our heat pumps, for our ACs, for our thermostats, for our furnace. So everything, awnings. So we've had, you know, all of our inside lights, but we didn't have like any of our awning controls. We didn't have any slide controls. So some of the more important stuff we didn't have control of. That's why we put this guy up here. But again, we'll put this guy in. I'm going to get this little gray wire back up and plugged in so that we have control. And that's basically what this is. This is a bus control for telling this what to send voltage to. So I'm going to plug that in real quick, and then we'll go back outside. We'll turn our batteries back on, and we'll go and pray that it all works, but we'll be all right. Okay, so here's our panel, and there's the cover, and then in here, I was able to fish it through, but I decided to pull it out so you could see. This is kind of the control. Let me move over here for your touch screen. So it's behind your main control panel in here, and it's just plugs in here underneath here. This is just a terminal block, and then it kind of goes up in here that goes up to your brains. So that's what we had to do. I just wanted to kind of show you in case you can't, you know, get up in there, that here's your ground bus bar, that it's actually easy. 6 screws pulls this guy out, and then you can access it, and then you can push this guy back in. Again, just like your battery, this is hot. Well, not now because I've shut off my panel, but this would be hot. So make sure you shut your power off, not only your batteries, but also at your pedestals, okay? Alrighty guys, yes, you notice there's no beard, a little different shirt. I was putting this together and I noticed a couple things that we didn't touch on. First of all, I got this from Vanleigh. That is the schematic for the G6. So you'll see that it has all the numbers and what they go to, what they correspond to. And that's why the numbering was a little different, why we went 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I didn't touch on that. And that's kind of an important part I wanted to show you. So there's this guy, and you can get that directly from Vanleigh. If you can't, or if you got questions, let me know. I'll get it for you. Okay, so that was one thing. The other thing that we didn't do is we didn't touch about the touch panel. So I just kind of wanted to bring this over here and kind of show you. I talked about coming up here from down here up to the touch screen, and so it's just your general touch screen. It kind of has your control panel, your lights, climate. These are our slide controls, our fans, awnings, and then the settings. So like I said, I just wanted to kind of show you the touch screen real quick. I talked about it, but I didn't show it to you. So as you can see now, we have all of our lights, all of our accent lights are up and going. Before, we didn't have any of those accents. Before, it was just basically, I'll turn them off because we just didn't have them. So she can span up there again real quick, and you can see the difference. There's none around the island, there's none on the cabin, there's none down here by the kick plate. So again, I know I'm jabbering on, but I wanted to show you that diagram as well as the touchscreen on what this controls. So it controls everything except for basically the outlets. So it was a big important thing. So we'll continue now on with the conclusion, but I just wanted to throw that in real quick. All right, thanks guys. Okay, so we are good to go. We've got everything buttoned back up. We will take probably a hair dryer to this and kind of loosen it up and put it on there. This is just, I'll kind of zoom in a little bit, tells you what is what. So it's a good thing to have. This G6, this is, like I said, the brains, was based off 2017. So we were actually able to get this guy relatively easily. Got gosh, I guess that's about it. It all went together, and we have access. This was our temporary thermostat, like I said, so now we can kind of pull this off. But before, we didn't have access to any of our slides. I'm not going to show you that because we have our skirting, which we've done videos on if you're curious about. But like the fans and we just didn't have access to the fans, so now that's working. We didn't have the accent lights in here weren't working. Obviously they are now working, so everything is great, and it fixed the problem. Now the question is why did that happen? That we don't know. So we're going to kind of, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. I have a local electronic place that will work on stuff. I'm going to see if they can't fix this and see what happens. So as you see on the back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these boards worked, but there's another board here on the side, and it's kind of the motherboard that controls everything, and something went wrong in one of the relays. So I'm going to see if they can't find that, chase it down, and replace it. That way I have an extra just in case this ever happens again, which God, I sure hope it doesn't. This has been kind of an ongoing thing. We thought we had it fixed and it worked for a couple weeks, and then it didn't. In that prior video we talked about this guy was $2,800 from Vanleigh. Now with Vanleigh closing, some of the stuff you can't get, this we still could get, but I decided to go on a whim and I called Spyder, who makes this. Spyder sold it to us for 550 bucks. So huge difference from 2,800 bucks to 550 is well worth it. Is easier to, you know, just take that dive and just get it fixed, and it fixed the problem. So enough of me rambling on. If you guys got any questions of what we did or how we did, and we'll have an update down the road here once we get this guy sent off and repaired, hopefully. But again, thank you very much for tuning in, and if you got any questions, let us know. Hit us up in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And again, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. And if you want to see more stuff like this, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. That way you'll know that when we throw out a new video, which is every week. So for all of you loyal subscribers, thank you, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.